All right, today we're diving into a fascinating puzzle. But this one isn't for us, it's for some of the smartest AI on the planet. We're going to break down exactly why they get it so wrong and how a really clever new strategy is teaching them to think a little bit more like a human. So let's get into it.
So take a look at this. It's a visual reasoning puzzle. The idea is simple. You see a few before and after grids, you figure out the rule, and then you solve the final one. Seems pretty straightforward, right? Well, here's the thing. Even the latest, most powerful models, we're talking GPT-4o, get totally stumped by these. And the reason why they fail, well, that's the key to this whole story.
So what exactly is this test that has AI so completely baffled? It's a benchmark called ARC-AGI, and you can think of it as one of the hardest IQ tests ever made for an artificial mind.
It's officially called the Abstraction and Reasoning Corpus, ARC-AGI for short. And the whole point of this thing isn't to test what an AI already knows, it's designed to measure its ability to learn how to learn. It has to see a hidden abstract pattern from just a couple of examples, and then use that brand new rule. You know, it's a real test of what you might call general intelligence.
And this is where the gap between us and them is just staggering. For most people, these puzzles are pretty intuitive. We solve them with over 97% accuracy. But for even the top AI models, that success rate is way, way lower. And closing that massive gap is what researchers are working so hard on. Okay, and this is where the story gets really weird. You'd think the solution would be obvious, right? But it actually leads to this complete paradox.
I mean, the logical next step is, hey, we solve these puzzles by looking at them, so why don't we just show the AI the pictures? Let it see the pattern, the same way we do. Simple.
And here's the paradox. Researchers discovered that just feeding the AI an image of the grid instead of a text-based description of it can actually make its performance worse. Yeah, you heard that right. Seeing the problem can actually confuse the AI. So what on earth is going on here?
This chart just lays it all out perfectly. Look at that bar on the left. That's the AI solving the puzzle using only a text description of the grid, like a list of coordinates and colors. Now, look at the bar right next to it. That's the AI using only vision, the actual image. On this test, you can see that just looking at the picture leads to a huge drop in performance. To solve this puzzle, the researchers came up with this fantastic analogy. It turns out an AI has two very different ways of thinking about a problem. It can think like an artist, or it can think like an accountant. The whole idea is that these two modes of thinking, vision and language, have totally different but complementary skill sets. It's not that one is better than the other, they're just good at completely different jobs. So let's break that down. On one side, you have the artist. That's the AI's visual brain. It's amazing at seeing the big picture, the overall pattern, like spotting if a shape is rotating or reflecting. And then on the other side, you have the accountant. That's its text-based brain. This mode is meticulous, it's precise, and it's absolutely perfect for step-by-step instructions, like change the color of the square at row 3, column 5. So here's the trade-off, and it's the whole key to the problem. The vision artist gets the overall vibe, the 2D structure, but it's clumsy with the tiny details. It might see that a whole shape rotates, but it could easily mess up the final position of one specific pixel. The text accountant is the total opposite. It has perfect, pinpoint precision for every single cell, but it loses the big picture. It just sees a long list of data, so it can't easily tell that the whole shape is rotating. So if you've got one mode that's great at seeing the pattern and another mode that's a genius at applying the details, the solution kind of presents itself, right? You need to combine them. You need the best of both worlds.
And that's exactly what the researchers did. They call the first part of their strategy Vision-Language Synergy Reasoning, or VLSR for short. Think of it like a divide-and-conquer approach. Instead of forcing the AI to use just one tool, it lets the AI switch to whichever thinking style is best for that part of the job.
And here's the playbook. It's a 3-step process. First, step 1. The AI looks at the examples as images, using its visual artist brain to grasp that big picture pattern. Then, step 2, it translates that pattern into a simple language rule, something like find all the blue squares and connect them. And finally, for step 3, it switches over to its super precise accountant brain to apply that rule to the text version of the grid, making sure every single pixel is exactly right. But wait, it gets even cooler. They didn't just stop there. They added this brilliant quality control step called Modality-Switch Self-Correction. So after the accountant has done all its precise work, the artist gets to review it.
The AI actually visualizes its own answer and asks itself, hey, does this new picture I made look like it follows the same vibe as the examples? It's like having a fresh pair of eyes to catch your own mistakes.
Okay, so the theory sounds great, right? It's elegant, but the real question is, does it actually work? Let's take a look at the results.
All right, remember this chart from before? Well, get ready for the aha moment. Let's add that third bar, the one that represents this new combined vision-text co-reasoning strategy. Bam! The difference is just night and day. This synergistic approach blows both the vision-only and text-only methods out of the water.
So how much better are we talking about here? Well, across a bunch of different AI models and different versions of this tough benchmark, this new combined approach delivered an average performance boost of 4.33%. Now, in the world of AI benchmarks, that is a huge leap forward.
And this table right here just nails the point home. Look at these numbers for the big-name models. GPT-4o's score nearly doubled, jumping from about 8% to over 14%. Gemini 2.5 Pro went from 35% up to over 42%. By teaching these models how to think about the problem differently, their performance just shot up without any changes to the models themselves.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? What does it all mean? It really points to a future where we build AI that is smarter, not just bigger.
You know, the researchers who wrote the paper put it perfectly. They said that unifying visual abstraction with linguistic reasoning is a crucial step toward human-like intelligence. It's not about one or the other. It's about combining different ways of thinking, just like we do. And that really leaves us with this final fascinating question. Maybe the path to true artificial general intelligence isn't just about building bigger and bigger models, throwing more and more data at them. Maybe the real secret is building a brain that knows how to change the way it thinks depending on the problem it's trying to solve.